I've got a stacked and jacked pile of comic books to talk about in our video today. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. DC Comics has designated October 21st, 2021 as Wonder Woman Day to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the iconic heroine's very first appearance in All-Star Comics number 8. Hard to believe she didn't even make the cover of that issue, isn't it? I'd like to celebrate her 80th anniversary with a special series of videos this month. Recently, I had a viewer, Paul S., who left me a comment and asked me what issues of the Wonder Woman comic book featured the Huntress backup stories, and if I wouldn't mind showing off that portion of my collection in a video sometime. I thought that would be a great video to do today to transition us into this special series of Wonder Woman comics videos that I want to do for her 80th anniversary. Great idea, Paul. I appreciate it. So we're going to get started now. It was June of 1980 that DC Comics increased their comic book prices from 40 cents to 50 cents. And with that dime increase came 8 additional pages of stories. These backup feature stories would feature superheroes that DC Comics wasn't currently using or featuring regularly in other titles. For Wonder Woman, they decided to pair her with the very popular newer character, the Huntress. She's from Earth 2 and the daughter of the Earth 2 Batman and Catwoman, who became a heroine shortly after her mother's death. Wonder Woman issue number 271 was the very first that featured this Huntress backup. DC Comics was in the middle of doing kind of a soft reboot with Wonder Woman at this time. There was a 3-issue launch of this soft reboot where they brought Steve Trevor back from the dead again. There were several house ads promoting this soft relaunch and even mentioning the Huntress backup feature as part of this soft relaunch, which happened with issue number 271. 272 is next, and what I do like about these covers, you're going to see they devoted actually a fair amount of space, considering that it's not the Huntress's book, to Huntress on these covers. Now, this image has been recently used for licensed products, and sometimes you see it with the Huntress image intact down below. Sometimes you see it having been cropped out. You'll notice as we go on with this series that the amount of cover space devoted to the Huntress will greatly reduce, if not disappear completely. Here's issue number 273. We see that while Wonder Woman is fighting the Angleman, Huntress has been caged by Solomon Grundy. Wonder Woman 274 gives us the introduction to Debbie Domain, who on the very last page becomes the second Cheetah. On the Huntress side of the comic book, she's teamed up with Power Girl. Of course, they were BFFs. Wonder Woman 275 features just a little stat there of Huntress, and I know that that's a stat because I actually own the original art to this cover, and Huntress is not drawn on there, so she was drawn as a stat on an overlay in the production process. $276 shows us that Huntress is still teaming up with Power Girl. And trust me, when you only have 8 pages of story to work with, it's hard to get through a complete storyline in a reasonable amount of time, so it took several issues to get through. And of course, eventually that would affect Wonder Woman too, because I think some of the Wonder Woman stories later on would get cut down a little bit lengthwise in order to accommodate Huntress, who, as I said, was quite popular. So here we have issue number 277. Number 278, Huntress up in the corner by the trade dress. Of course, the Bronze Age era of Wonder Woman is one of, if not my all-time favorite. Of course, I'm such a Bronze Age fan as it is. Huntress gets quite a bit of the cover on this issue right here, 279. .280 is up next. For those that are a fan of the character Demon, Demon was appearing in this issue and the next two in a 3-issue story arc of the main Wonder Woman title. As you'll see Demon again here on the cover of 281. Huntress is fighting the Joker, and I think that this is a great cover, especially like the Huntress portion of the cover. And when you're fighting Joker, who is such a fan favorite, of course you want to show off that he's in the book somewhere, increase those sales. 282, Joker also on the cover with Huntress there. And there were times that I can say, even as a Wonder Woman fan, that I look forward to the Huntress stories as much, if not even sometimes a little bit more than the Wonder Woman stories. This was a great cover. Incidentally, this is George Perez, and I believe that's the first time he does a Wonder Woman cover, is right here. But this side over here, Joe Staton, who is a co-creator of Huntress, is doing the backup art on these stories. But I specifically remember the story because at this time the Earth 2 Batman had died, and then you see there's a Batman in the shadows, and Huntress and Joker are both confused as to who that could be. 284, right at the top with the trade dress, we see that the Earth 2 Robin has swung in to help out Huntress. .285 just kind of reminds us right up here that Huntress still has a backup. .286 is a cover that I've always loved Wonder Woman wise, and Huntress is right up there at the top, just reminding folks that she's still in there. It's a little bit of a clickbait cover, the Wonder Woman story is in this one though. This scene is it doesn't really happen like that. Let's just put it like that. 287 features the new Teen Titans, who are so hot at this time guest starring, and with all of these characters they just put a little mention down there, that plus the Huntress too. So 288, the Huntress does not have a backup feature in that issue, and that's because the creative team had changed at that time. So they gave an entire issue devoted just to Wonder Woman to get this new creative team and the storylines that they were going to tackle underway. But Huntress was back in issue number 289. So like I said, skipping 288, 289, she's back and mentioned right up there at the top. And you might also note too, not only do we have new trade dress that we didn't have before, but by this time, with the appearance in DC Comics Presents 41, the insert, and issue 288, Wonder Woman was now established with her new emblem on her bustier, the double W. It was the eagle before, and now it had been replaced with the double W, which we still know to this day. 290 has Captain Wonder, Silver Swan battling Wonder Woman, and Huntress swinging in there at the top too. That's a great cover. So these next 3 issues that I'm going to show you, starting with Wonder Woman 291, there is no Huntress backup feature. They did a 3-issue story arc that involved pretty much all of the female heroines of the DC universe. But Huntress is featured in this 3-issue story arc. She just doesn't have her own solo backup feature that she normally does. It's temporarily suspended. So this is 291. 292, you can actually see that she's on the cover, although she's participating in the main storyline that takes up the entire issue. And 293, same situation. Huntress is on the cover, but it's still the main storyline that they're talking about. It was very cool that Phil Jimenez actually did an homage to this storyline with a whole bunch of the female characters during his run in the Volume 2 of Wonder Woman. I think that was awesome. So with the wrap-up of those 3-issue storyline of Wonder Woman, we're back to the regular format of Wonder Woman, issue number 294. Huntress is up there too. You don't see her, but they let you know that her solo adventures are back in this issue. What's also noteworthy too is all of the books that I've showed you, with the exception of 291, 292, and 293, that 3-issue story arc of all female heroines that I just explained. All of the Huntress backup stories have been collected, along with some other appearances she made in a trade paperback called Huntress, the Dark Knight's Daughter. Very good. Issue number 295. This is not available or been reprinted to my knowledge in any form. This and the next several issues haven't. And as of the recording of this video, they're not available digitally either on the DC Comics app. $296, you could tell video games were hot at the time that this was published. And just once again at the top, no picture, but just reminding you that Huntress is in there. And you'll start to see this wean out a little bit more, especially when we start getting into this era of covers. $297. At least we get a headshot up there. $298. No mention of Huntress anywhere in the book, but she's there. I do think that's a cool Wonder Woman cover. $299, no mention of Huntress. She's there as well. Huntress does not make an appearance in issue number 300. That's the big anniversary issue for Wonder Woman. So they devoted, it was actually an extra large issue, page count wise, and they devoted the entire issue to Wonder Woman and a very longer story that they told. But when they got back into it with issue 301, they let you know by showing her picture too that Huntress and her backup features still continue. Starting with this issue and the remainder of the ones that I'll show in my video, these are available on the DC Comics app for individual purchase or reading. $302 started what I like to call some pinup covers. And they're great images of Wonder Woman. I know this one has been licensed as well for several different products in the past. Great images of Wonder Woman. They really don't tell you what's going on inside the interior of the story or connect to the interior of the story. They're just there for eye candy. Here's 302. Excuse me, that was 303. I said 302, it was 303. This is 304. I'm actually surprised that this hasn't been licensed out yet for product use. $305. And the final one of the pinup series of covers, 306. This has been licensed out. I've seen this on a few different products, and I can understand why. Fantastic images. All right, we're back with 307. No mention of the Huntress backup feature, but they are letting you know about the Superman 3 movie contest that you can enter. 308, Wonder Woman has Elongated Man and Black Canary guest starring, no mention of Huntress. .309, Black Canary is still guest starring. The Huntress backup features there, no mention of it on the cover, which will be a reoccurring theme in the majority of these covers that I'm showing to the end. Here's issue number 310. Great Hera Gremlins! That's what Wonder Woman's saying on the cover of issue number 311. Still got Gremlins hanging around for 312. .313, we have Circe. .314. The cover for 315 is pretty cool, with Diana Prince in the Hall of Mirrors and all the distorted Wonder Womans looking back at her. .316, look out, she's her old self again. That's what it says. .317. I will add in too that the Huntress backup features in Wonder Woman was the longest running of all of the additional backup features that they included in other comics. Everyone else's ended a lot earlier than Huntress being in Wonder Woman did. As I said, it was helping out the sales at the time. That's why it stayed. Here's 318. 318 was an interesting issue because it was kind of a one-off from the continuing story that they were doing. They had this continuing story going, then they just kind of stopped and did this one-off story. And then with 319, they got back into the story. And on 319, not only did they get back in the story, they actually put Huntress back on the cover. Just a reminder that her backup features are still there. Not for much longer, but they're still there. Not a bad cover. .320. And the final appearance of a Huntress backup feature in the Wonder Woman comic book came with issue 321. So Wonder Woman 322 would be published the next month. And then after that, the series went back to bi-monthly. And the series wrapped up with issue number 329. Then there was a Wonder Woman limited series. And then a short time after that, the Perez Volume 2 reboot kicked off because by this time Crisis had wrapped up. So that's a complete look at all of the Wonder Woman comic books that included Huntress backup features. I'm dying to know which covers were your favorite. Have you ever read any of these issues that I showed? Are you a Huntress fan? Let's talk about all of these things and more in the comment section below. Your comments are always appreciated, encouraged, and welcome here. I love to dialogue about this type of stuff with you. I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up, share the video and this channel with someone that might be interested. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope that you'll do that as well. As I said, I have plenty of other Wonder Woman comic book themed videos that I want to do this month to tie in with the 80th anniversary of my favorite superhero of all time. As a matter of fact, on Tuesday, I'm going to drop a comic book editions video where I received an A-OK from my friend in Brazil, and it's heavily made up of some foreign edition Wonder Woman comic books. There's a few other things besides Wonder Woman, and there's a little bit of Marvel in there too for you Marvel fans, but make sure to catch that video in the future. We'll be doing a Wonder Woman storyline. We'll do Gods of Gotham, which appeared in Wonder Woman Volume 2, issue number 164 through 167, later this month during Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. I think that's going to be October 24th on my channel. So make sure to tune in for that. And if you want to read along ahead of time, you can start pulling your books out or ordering them up or read them digitally so you can have your input set as well during the live show. I'm really looking forward to that. So those are just some of the plans I have to celebrate Wonder Woman Day. It's coming up October 21st. By the way, participating comic book stores will have a free Wonder Woman Day comic book available a couple days earlier on Tuesday with the rest of their new books. So that would be October 19th, I believe. So look for that at participating comic book stores and make sure to pick up your copy of that. Thanks for joining me for this video today. Look forward to reading your comments below, and thank you again for all of the support. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.